What up, dudes? Today we are going to be doing an install of the B58TU pump into an N55 car. This is something that's been done a couple times. There's maybe 1 or 2 videos on YouTube showing people that have done this. This is a 2015, like I said, N55, and I haven't touched the pump at all on here yet. We're still running the stock pump. Right now I am running an E30 tune. It's working just fine. Stock pump can handle that. But the goal for this is to be able to do E50, E60, and then we'll probably end up trying E85 at some point. I don't really think it's going to work, but you know, we'll see. Eventually the plan is to put a custom tune on this car, but we're not there quite yet. So today we're just gonna be installing the B58TU pump. And this pump is technically not made for this car. It's obviously for the B58 engine, but most of the things about it are the same. The spring on this one is a little bit bigger than on the stock N55 pump. So you should theoretically be able to get a little bit more fuel throughput on this. Basically what we have to do to this pump though, to install it, is chop off a portion of the forward side of the flange, and then we have to notch the other side, or vice versa, I can't remember. We'll see when we get there. But my goal is to do that and then probably make a template that you guys can cut yourself or print out and then place on here so you have a better idea of where to cut. I would like this to look professional when I install it, so I did just get an angle grinder, but we'll see what we can do. All right, so first things first, you gotta come up here and pop off the plastic cover. This is 3 8mm plastic nuts. Pull that one off. And then we gotta get to the other side, pull off these plastic bits, and then we have to pull off the strut bracing. So we'll get the other side now. Bigger than the adapter. All right, just had to pry those off to get to the strut bracing. And now we're going to need, let me think, maybe a T30, something like that. All right, so tool for this is going to be an E18. If you've done anything in your engine bay, you probably have this already. E18 external Torx. We got our wrench with the E-Torx on it here. And we're gonna take off this bolt. But first I wanna take off the rubber bit that holds this cable. Just makes it easier to get to the middle ones. Well, not the middle ones, to the outside ones. And you kinda need to take it off to pull off the strut brace. So that's off. We need to get to this bolt right here. And then there's 2 up here in the middle, which is why you have to take those little plastic bits off. So that's all 4 screws off. And your strut brace should just pop straight out. Put that off to the side. It's gonna be off for a while. All right, now with the strut brace off, we're going to pull off my broken piece of foam in the back here. This probably happens on a lot of people's cars. This actually was not my fault. When I had a shop do my oil filter housing gasket, and they ripped it apart when they took it out, so oh well. We're just gonna pull it out now because we're gonna need to get to the ECU in the back there. And you kind of need to pull it out. Oh, we need to take this plastic thing off, don't we? This one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we got our rubber piece out. I could have waited to do that, actually, because we need to go ahead and take off this other piece. I don't know, top engine guard looking thing. This one is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts, I believe. We'll work our way around, but I think it's a 10mm, so let me grab that. All right, so this is gonna be 6 bolts, potentially 8. I could be remembering wrong. There's 1, 2, those felt pretty loose, not gonna lie. 3, 4, 5, and 6. That was shockingly loose. Okay, I did actually miss one. There's one more on the driver's side of the car here. Yep, and then we'll take that out. There is a little plastic clip that connects to the gasket, which you can, I mean, it might be ripped off on some of your cars, but I do like taking this off properly. All right, so we got this plastic cover off, and we'll move on to the next thing. All right, so if you haven't done it yet, now is a good time to disconnect the battery. I just went back and unscrewed the 10 mil from there. We're going to be unhooking a lot of electrical stuff, including the DME, so it's just a good idea to have that disconnected. This is not quite necessary, but we're going to take off the intake and this plastic cover so we can get to things more easily. Intake is super easy to come off. Just one, well, at least for my AFE one, it's just one flathead screw, and then we pop off the connectors and we should be good to go. So I'll do that real quick. Yeah. All right, so we got the intake off, and now we're using a T15 to pull off this plastic cover. So this is just one single screw. Again, not super necessary, but it'll make it easier to get in there. I'm just gonna leave the screw on the part. And now we have easy access to everything. So there's a lot of things that we have to take off here. We're going to have to disconnect the charge pipe, which is not too warm. We're gonna have to take off the manifold, unplug a bunch of cables, and we're just gonna start taking them off one thing at a time. All right, so in the spirit of getting things out of the way, we're gonna unplug the O2 sensors over here because the cables go right over the manifold and it makes it really annoying to take out. So we'll just pop those off. They're a little tight because they're waterproof. And we're gonna unplug a couple other things here that are in the way, which is this connector down here. I don't really know what it is, but it's in the way of getting the charge pipe undone. A lot of these connectors are little flap ones where you have a flap that you press in and you pull out, just like that. There's a second connector on here that goes to this. That I'm not sure how you undo.
Which one?
This. Do I need to take that off?
Little push thing.
I just want to break it. It feels pretty fragile.
Push.
All right, so there's a little clippy down here on the charge pipe. It's really hard to see from where the camera is, but it's one of those clips that hooks around. You have to press from both sides, just like the one that's on the intake at the same time, and then you pull it off. Very easy to break, so you gotta be careful there. And there's a second connection on it that goes to wherever that goes to. And that one also connects and disconnects in a similar fashion, so you can pull off this entire tube and get it out of the way. All right, I should mention this is a X-Drive automatic 335.
Goes to this thing.
Yeah, that thing is connected to the manifold, so we can take it off at the same time. Oh, it looks like there's another plug down here.
Yeah.
I bet it takes boost to shift something.
Yeah.
There's another clippy on the bottom of this, whatever automatic transmission piece this is. Nice, that's a good sound to hear. Ow, hot. It's another one of these two clip things that is really easy to break and hard to reach. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe you can wait to come off until we pull the manifold off.
Wait, what? No. Manifold has that clippy to something else. So that has to come off first.
Okay, so I just need to figure it out.
You have to unscrew it or unplug it. Double check mine.
So this thing, it just pulled it straight off of the manifold instead of trying to unclip the clip that is now slightly broken. We'll figure that out later. All right, so next thing we're taking off is this plastic piece in the back that holds on a bunch of cables. This is T25. And there's a couple screws here. Just gotta be careful because it's all plastic. Up, which is just connected to this rubber piece. I think you can just pull it straight off.
Disconnect that one in the back.
All right, we got this plastic thing mostly off now, or at least enough that it's out of the way, I think. If we need to take more off later, we can. What are we gonna do next?
Probably these things. I want to be able to move this stuff in.
Okay.
Up and out of the way.
I'll take off these two, looks like 10s again, one there.
That may not be completely necessary,
One
but
there.
I'm trying to get as much out of the way as possible.
Yeah. All right, so we pulled off this giant plastic piece that holds a bunch of connectors. And again, this might not be necessary, but we're just sort of trying to get stuff out of the way. Next up, we're gonna try to unplug a bunch of connectors in the back. Going to be pretty hard to see, but we'll see what I can do. How many connectors are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. So 6 DME connectors, all very large. Do you want me to try and get in there?
No, I just can't push down this thing. Wait a second, after I get this.
What is all this? Oh, it's just old and crusty. Don't drop it.
So these
You have a
big
little
bulkhead
lever.
connectors, they have something that you push. They have a button that you push down, and
Yeah.
then you slide the thing across it.
Oh, I see. And then it just comes straight out.
Then it just comes out after that.
Okay. We don't need to take pictures of these, right? Because they're only go in one spot.
Oh, that's not. Also mention that for the 3 front connectors, you have to go from back to front.
Well, it is recording right now. So for these 3 front DME connectors,
Can't see anything.
you got to go from back to front. And the rear ones are different than the front ones. The front ones have a clip that goes across. This is gonna be hard to see, but we'll try. Yeah, so there's the 3 front ones. They have these giant clips that go across, and then the 2 back ones, or I think there's 3 back there, but they have a different clip on them. So we're gonna do those ones
For
next.
these connectors, if you look right here, you have to push this down, and then
And then it
it
slides.
comes across, and that takes it off.
That makes sense. And then to put it back on,
And then
you
they
press
just
it on.
fall off. And then when you put it back on, make sure that it's all the way down. Push it on as hard as you can, and then put it back up. If this doesn't seat properly, obviously you're going to have problems.
Yeah, you'll get DME errors, and you won't know what they're coming from. Or you might get other errors, and you won't know that they're coming from the
It'll
DME.
just be all of the errors. You
Yeah.
will get every single error.
A Christmas tree. All right, so we're gonna do these rear plugs now. All right, so what you're looking at right now is the DME connectors all the way down on the back one, which you have to do before you do the 2 that I showed in the last clip. There's this big plastic slider that comes out in this direction. You can use a big screwdriver to pull it out. It's pretty strong. Obviously you still want to be careful because it's BMW plastic, but once you pull that out, it just comes straight out. And then it's much easier to get to the annoying clips that are on the 2 right in front of it. All right, so we got all our DME connectors unhooked. It'll make more sense why you have to take them off, I think, when we get to the next step, but you have to pop off the clip on your charge pipe. We do have an aftermarket metal one here. So it might be slightly different, but it's basically just a metal clip.
It's the same.
Okay, it's the same metal clip.
That's on the OEM one, but also if you're changing the fuel pump, please just change your charge pipe.
Yeah.
Get
If
a
you're doing
metal one.
if you're doing a mod this complicated, you probably should have done the charge pipe already. Because the plastic one is just not very strong. I don't really know if that's a good idea. What? If you're shaking the entire manifold on the engine.
So we can try.
I think it'll come off. How many bolts do we got on here? We have these like reverse ones and regular ones. So studs and bolts, they all look like 8s. Oh, no, they don't. These two are 10s at the front. I think one of the wrenches over here has it on it already.
Well, yeah, I would get an extended.
Other one, all the way in the back here. Definitely need an extension for this. There's 8, not 7, and this is a nut, so you have to catch it when it comes off.
Sometime I'm gonna get a set of those magnetic sockets.
Yeah, that would be nice. Okay. All right, I think that's all 8 off of there. Let's just see if this moves at all. So it is still solidly connected to the charge pipe. I'm wondering if there's anything else. All right, so I missed another nut. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 5 nuts and 2 bolts on the top of the manifold. I think the screws that I undid back here by the DME actually just connect the DME to the manifold, so I probably didn't need to do that. We'll find out here shortly. Since I do have an aftermarket charge pipe though, it's making it pretty difficult to remove the charge pipe and the throttle body at the same time. So
I think this is a consequence of the X drive.
yeah, it could be. All right,
With the shaft down there.
I don't know if this is going to come out.
Just pull. There you go. If you can just not remove the throttle body, that'd be nice.
It would, but there might be cables back there. Oh boy.
I'm feeling cable.
Right, we're loose, but I think there's a tube on the back of the throttle body too, I think.
The tube goes to this though.
Yeah.
We can look
for the cable. Use the light. Maybe you
Oh,
can
I see.
better.
There's another one of the clippy things on the back of it.
On the.
This thing.
Oh.
So either this has to come off, or
Well, it's a little easier to reach now. You might be able to use a pick tool to get the other
can you
side.
hold this up?
Yeah. So we're still attempting to do this without taking the throttle body off. There's this brass pinch connector back here that I'm going to try and take off so that we can unclip it. There we go, got it off. I think you should be free now. Just be careful of the cables in the back that are clipped onto it.
Yep.
There's a big slot that holds a bunch. Is that?
There's another cable attached to it somewhere.
Oh, hold on. There's another cable down here. Let me see how to undo it. BMW clip moment. I'm gonna hold it. You might be familiar with this connector.
Okay.
This may be a long video. Oh, you got it?
Got you
Nice.
free.
All right, manifold is free, and we didn't have to disconnect the throttle body. Very interesting.
That's actually super nice.
This is off now. And there are bolts on the front here that you do not need to take off. These two are just for DME to throttle or to manifold. So I'm just gonna put these back on. Many.
You can check your valves while being in here too. Looks like you have a little bit of carbon buildup, but not too bad. Oh, that one's bad. Well, not bad, but that's fine. Apparently this is called a purge valve.
A purge valve?
Yeah.
Okay. It's dripping oil.
Cool.
And to make sure we remember the orientation that goes in. Can you hold
There's
it?
only one way that can connect.
Okay. Oh, we can just stick it on the...
1 sec.
We can just stick it back on the throttle body, can't we?
No, we keep it separate for now.
No, I mean like the rubber thing. You can just...
Oh, well, yeah, I guess you could.
Just keep it together.
Oh, by the way, that's your starter.
Oh, that's a fun thing to get to. It's not actually that bad. All right, so manifold off. We can now see everything in here. Our fuel pump is going to be right here. So that's where we're going to be mounting the new one. We got 2 bolts on there. We got some fuel tubing that needs to come off. And then we got the connector, of course. So shouldn't be too hard. All right, so there's a couple things we're taking off. First is going to be this big rubbery line that goes to the front or in front of the fuel pump so we can get easier access. And there's 2 fuel lines, one on the front and back, and then there's a connector that needs to come off as well. All of that so we can see what we need to cut off of the new fuel pump. All right, so we're going to undo the fuel lines now. Definitely recommend safety glasses for this part. There's 2 down here and then 1 up top. I'm thinking right now that we undo the top one to let any pressure out, and then hopefully the bottom ones down here will not drip as much, but we'll see. What is this, like a 14 or a 15? It's a 17 millimeter.
Yep.
There will be fuel in here and it's going to get somewhere. So
Shop
just
rag.
be aware of that. Yeah, shop rag it up. Smells like corn juice.
Partial corn juice.
Yes, partial corn juice. That's obviously not going to just come off because it's connected at the bottom, so.
Yeah, but the pressure's released now, so we're good.
Yeah.
That is gonna fall down.
That's fine. All right, so the top one is disconnected. Well, the nut is disconnected anyway.
Just keep this here.
Yeah, and then we'll undo the bottom one, which is down here.
That's gonna drip too.
Yeah, let's shove another rag in.
Rag.
All right, so that's undone now. While this rag is here, I'm gonna undo the other side. There is a little tubey connector here that goes to something down here that you wanna make sure you don't get fuel in, I imagine. But if you got rag, it'll probably be fine. Take that line off. So now the pump is sort of free here. And cover that up. And now we have 2 bolts on the pump, which are going to be Torx. Looks somewhere around 225. Let's see. I don't think I have that out right now. Wow.
T30.
So close. All right, so take those off. Another do not drop bolt.
I'll put something on top.
Also, just not get any on the cam follower.
Yeah, we'll put a rag or something on top.
Is that the washer or the screw?
No, that was the screw.
Oh, great.
Unless you pull the pump off, you'll be able to see the...
All right, so we're just gonna carefully pull the pump upwards. There is an O-ring on here, so you gotta use a little bit of force. That pops right up. There's gonna be oil in there. Okay, do you have a magnet? Because we can reach it with it.
Yep.
And there is our fuel pump off. And it's dumping fuel on my hands. No surprise there. Well, on my gloves rather. All right, so here is the pump. Stock N55 pump. You got a spring and follower just like on the big one. We're gonna be changing connector orientation on the new pump, I believe. And you can see in a second what the new one looks like. All right, so looking at the fitment of this, obviously the flange looks enormous compared to the original in here, which is going to be the case. It fits down inside just fine, but you do need to orient it such that you can actually still get the fuel line on. So I think this might actually be backwards right now.
No, that's right.
Is it? Because how do you get to that fuel line back there?
What fuel line?
The rear one.
What? You have to move it this way. You chop off a piece right here. You rotate it this way. Then this has to go right here.
Right. No,
this doesn't go the other way. Unless it do.
I don't. I think the connector would hit.
So maybe the connector has to go the other way? Let's put it like this. See what happens.
No.
Yeah, no.
No. Definitely not.
Yeah, absolutely not. The connector hits that way.
Yeah, so
it has to go this way. Put the connector on the driver's side of the car.
Yeah, so
as it goes on, there's a little, as you can see right here, this little port is in the way of this, so that's where the cutting comes into play. You have to cut basically from...
I'll just show it closer.
All right, in here, you can see this port right here is kind of in the way. In order to do this, because in order to orient this properly. This fuel line has to go to this, which means you have to rotate it. We have to cut basically from right here to right there in order to rotate it properly. We'll probably cut a little bit over just so we have some clearance there. And then we're gonna have to drill new holes too. Yeah, how I've seen it done before is you notch the side right here and on the other part of this over here so that you can actually screw it in. And that's about how I've seen it done before.
Yep, so now we're gonna figure out our marked lines and cover the fuel ports on the pump to make sure we don't get any grindings in there. All right, so looking at our cut lines, we're gonna start with a chop off like this on the forward side. And then one notch is gonna be somewhere around there-ish, and then the other one will be somewhere around there-ish. So we'll go ahead and cut that off, and then I'll check back in and see what the fitment is like. Angle grinders are kind of cool. Easy peasy. That's clean enough for a check.
Yeah, well, the bottom is the thing that I'm more worried about. Right here.
Well, I just have it off the... It's pretty flat, though. Perfect sampling.
Precision. It actually looks really nice.
Yeah, it does.
All right. Tell people to get a new cutting disc.
Yeah. All right, so we did a first cut on here. You can sort of see it. It's out of focus right now, but it seems like it's pretty close. So we're gonna test fit with both of the fuel tubes and see if we can orient it in a way that both can get connected. We also realized that the position that the engine stopped in seems to have been in a position where the cam is compressing the spring a bit, so that's gonna be really fun to figure out. But main point here is just to see if we can fit the fuel tubes on in an orientation that works with this cut that we made. And I think, oh man, this orientation is really...
The cut seems fine. We have plenty of room over there.
Yeah, I think so too. We just need to get the holes marked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only problem there is that it's down, right? So without having it pressed all the way down, it's pretty hard to...
I think this is it though, right there.
Yeah, I think this is it.
So,
let me pull the camera off and get a shot closer.
Also, my holes are very close.
I know, I saw that. That is the orientation that we cut it in. It seems like it's plenty of clearance on the cut, so we did good there. Obviously you could cut off more if you wanted, but there's no need for us to do that. Now we need to notch out the holes. You can see the black Sharpie mark up at the aft fuel line, and then it looks like both fuel lines will line up properly, and the top is connected right now, at least loosely. So I think we're gonna move forwards with cutting out these notches. All right, so we went ahead and got this all cut up. These slots are a little bit bigger than they need to be, but I missed by just like a millimeter on one of them the first try. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to make a CAD file and post it on Maker World probably. If I do, it'll be in the description. But basically it's a 65 millimeter hole pattern, bolt circle, and then it's angled by a certain amount of degrees. In any case, it fits on there. One thing to remember is make sure you tape this up really good when you're grinding. You don't want any metal shards in there. And then this O-ring is actually from the old pump, so make sure you transfer that over for an N55 car. So now we're gonna go ahead and bolt this up carefully, because the cam is in a position that compresses the spring a little, so I'm gonna do a little on one side, a little on the other, a little on one side, a little on the other, until it's all the way down, and then we can figure out aligning the fuel tubes properly, which are going to have to be a little bit stressed, a little bit bent out of where they are normally, but it should be okay. We'll make sure that they get good seating in any case.
Will they get like 28?
No, I didn't get that before mods. I got 27. That's my best ever.
Really?
Yes. We're not going to torque wrench these, I don't think, because we don't have one that goes to 12 foot-pounds and is small enough to fit in there. So we got them two nice and tight, and now we're going to try and orient the fuel rails, or the fuel lines, to be lined up. And I think the aft one is going to require a little bit of pressure to fit properly, but we'll see what we can do. All right, so we got the bottom one on the front on just fine. Now we're going to be doing the top one. So we're gonna loosen all four of the bolts that are on the fuel rail just a little bit, so we can press it into the right spot. I already knew that I was gonna have to do this, so I'm comfortable with it, but your mileage may vary. Good point. Surely that would be easier though.
Before we tighten that down fully, let's put the other side.
It is on.
The back side?
Oh. Oh, this is fine. It's, I think the attachment is just fine. They're not perfectly aligned 100%, but I think they're seated properly. So that one twists a lot more. It has like a soft tube in the back there. So
if I can, let me see. Hold up.
it might just need to get bent up a little bit, right? Yep, that's the idea. See, look how much better that is already.
What did you do? Did you push?
I pushed the tube through the hose clamps.
Okay.
Carefully. Look at that. See, that's where it needs to be.
Nice.
I don't even know if that's 100% perfect, but I think it's good enough. So on this hose, it goes down and back through 2 hose clamps, P-clamps rather. And then there's a bend right before it connects to a soft tube. If you get some leverage on the bend back there, you can press it forwards and it lines up almost perfectly. So pretty easy. The only question now
is this way.
Is the connector.
Oh, we just need to unhook that right there using a pair of pliers, and then we're good. Or literally just. Well, that's not going back in.
BMW plastic. It is 10 years old though. We have to think about that.
Let's route it somewhere else.
All right, connector's on.
Should have said the difference between the EWG and PWG connectors because they're different.
Oh yeah, so this is an electronic wastegate engine. I think the it's pneumatic wastegate, right?
Yeah.
The pneumatic wastegate engine might have a different connector on there, so it might not be a drop-in. So definitely see which version you have before you do this mod. This one is an electronic. So I think now, what are we gonna do? We're gonna try and stick the manifold back on?
Unless there's anything else to do under there, yeah.
Oh, no, this tube goes on first. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Wherever that is.
Tubey thing.
It's right here. Okay, so go reattach this tubey. I think that's all that gets attached over here. I don't see anything else disconnected. All right, so we're back putting the manifold on. I went ahead and stuck the, what did you say this was?
Purge valve.
I put the purge valve back on the back side here. That's what connected to the brass nipple. Didn't need to take that off in the first place, but we need to reconnect this connector and then we'll stick the manifold back onto the engine. And we just dripped oil out of there. Nice.
It's fine, I'm sure.
All right.
Wait a minute, what about this thing? This goes to the bottom of that. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But
I'm just
you
trying
hold
to
the connector up and out. Okay, so I'm just gonna set this into the charge pipe and then, where's pluggy? There it is. I'm assuming this can only go on one way.
Yeah,
Know
like
which
most
way that
BMW
is. Probably this direction. All right, clickety click. I believe that's all we need there. And the manifold should just go back down. Stuck on something. Applying final torque to all of the manifold bolts. You could torque wrench these, but it is plastic, so good and tight is probably good. These are the same size. All right, there we go. Now it is connector time.
Manifold on, and we did not have to take the throttle body out, surprisingly.
Yep, no throttle body out.
And this is the hardest one to do that on too. The X-Drive Auto.
Yep. Do have to reconnect the charge pipe though.
We should do the manifold, or the DME first.
I don't think that that's going to affect this, because if we need to unscrew the manifold to get this on, then we're going to have a problem. Yeah, that's going to be fun. All right, so we struggled with the charge pipe for a while and eventually got it on. Now, you're not gonna be able to see this very well, but all the DME connectors have to get reconnected in the back here. We'll start with the two smallest ones, which are sort of between the really wide ones in the front and the really wide ones in the back. And I need to find the other one. Where's the second one? Is that really how it was?
Looks like it, unless it goes in here.
Oh, it goes in there.
Oh wait, you took these off?
Yeah, I took those off.
Okay.
You got all four of the fuel rails? Yes?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
All four of those.
So let's put this on top. You want me to do it?
How did you put this on?
It's magic.
No, just don't remember that.
Okay, those are back on. This goes in there, I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is one of the small ones. The other small one's down here. I believe these all only go into one possible spot, so pretty hard to mess them up, I think. There's the bottom one on. Make sure these are seated all the way. You hear a nice click and the connector bottoms out. It's the last thing you want. Just have to come all the way back in here after doing all this. So we got the two mid back ones on, and now we're gonna stick on the big rear one, which has the slidey thing. Make sure that's open. There it is. And this is gonna route.
Make sure the other sensor cables are correct.
Yeah, this, I was just gonna say this is gonna go under here. I think it's seated all the way. Oh.
Can you pull it out?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Closing the slide actually pulls it the rest of the way onto the
Yeah, that sounds right.
thing. All right, so now there's three giant ones. Again, I'm pretty sure these can only go in one order. So front one first. Yeah, so this is the front one, which is counterintuitive somewhat. Okay, so press all the way on, click in.
Try to pull it out.
I ain't going nowhere.
All right.
All right, and then this is the middle one. That's the back one. The middle one is on this harness. So many cables in there. And then this one is the back. All right, that should be all those in. O2 lines go over there. This little connector goes here. This, those go somewhere. This goes back up here onto this rubber spot.
Wait. I think these were down
Those
there.
go down here, yeah.
Hold up, let's route them properly.
I think properly is down around.
Yeah, where's the fuel rail pressure sensor?
Right there. Wait on that though, because this needs to get back on. This one though, I feel like
One of them goes to that.
where's it go? I'm just gonna go to the. Where's my? One of the. Oh, that's it. I'm just gonna keep it in my. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Oh, yeah, there you go. That one's a weird one. So you don't have to press too hard. Are you sure you don't have to undo the metal thing?
No, you push it in. There.
Alright, you got that?
Yep.
Alright.
I think that's all the connectors plug back in. For the O2 and the...
Well, this, I just don't like how it routed. But maybe that's just how it is. There's a fuel rail sensor.
I'm gonna plug it in?
I think so.
Okay.
These 2 screws I need. On the back right now, we're just putting in the 2 bolts that hold on that rear wiring organizer, 2 T25s. And then we're gonna put this other cabling mess back on, which may or may not have needed to come off, but it's possible that it helped us by giving us some more flexibility. In any case, that's going back on. All right, so we reconnected all the connectors, all the DME connectors, the tube that goes to the charge pipe, all the vacuum lines. We missed one. Where does that go to?
All the way over there.
Oh, right, that's the one that goes all the way across. Well, we need to make sure that we get the routing right on that, but... All right, so anyway, we're putting the intake back on now. One of the last steps of this. Connect the charge line back to the intake, or the vacuum line rather. Connect this guy back up here. To the MAF sensor. Bam. I think that is all of those connected up. Nice.
Did we ever reconnect that little tiny one?
Which one?
There was a little tiny one down there that the manifold got stuck on.
All right, so we now have all the connectors back together. We forgot to put one on, this tiny little metal piece down here. Don't really have any idea what it is, but I'm sure it's important. We got that tiny 2-pin connector back together, and we're ready to do a test start. Probably gonna take a couple cranks to get the fuel back into the fuel system, but should go right up without a tune at all. That's half the point of doing this fuel pump, is that it should work without a specific tune for it. So we'll go ahead and hook the battery back up and give her a start. Just gonna give this a quick start to make sure that she runs. Let's see. It's running. I don't see any fuel leaking. It's quite loud in here, but it's normal. I feel like I can hear a little whir of the pump.
Yeah, it's all it.
Yeah. Well, no leaks. That's good. Probably shut it off now.
Yeah.
Especially because we're doing the downpipe. It's so loud without the cover on. Yay, successful install. All right, so that's the end of the install for this fuel pump. We do have to retune in order to use the E50/E60 tune that I want to do. So I'll probably record some clips of that later on my phone or something, but for all intents and purposes, that install is done. Overall, pretty smooth. Actually, modifying the fuel pump was easy. The most annoying part by far was getting my charge pipe back on, but that may be just a my charge pipe problem. But overall, not too terrible. Definitely more advanced than doing an intake on your car. I think it took us 5-ish hours, and we both sort of knew what we were doing. So he's done. stuff with his DME on his car. He has the Dorsch, was it?
Dorsch Stage 2 high pressure fuel pump.
Yeah, so he has a high pressure fuel pump in his car already, but there's always a couple differences between X-Drive and manual. So anyway, hopefully you guys found this video useful. I'll probably put more clips after this, but thanks for watching this part.